German apartments usually don't have a kitchen when you rent them, or not usually, but you always have to ask.
Oh, there's no kitchen?
It depends. You have to ask. So even if it's furnished or it, so most of the time it's not furnished when you
Okay.
rent, and then you always have to. Usually people take their kitchen with them. It's part of the furniture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Gaurav, and today I am with my friend Kate. Kate is from Germany. She's living in London and she's an entrepreneur. She runs her own company. And today we are going to talk to her about her company, her life in London, and what she likes and dislikes about London, and what are the differences between Germany and London that she thinks. So, Kate, tell us about when you moved to London and your life in London, your experiences in London. Just tell us about that.
Okay. So I moved to London 3 years ago to do my master's degree here.
Okay.
Then started working for TikTok, and I left in February to start
TikTok,
my own
the
company.
big company, TikTok.
Yes,
Everybody is crazy
TikTok,
about TikTok.
exactly. Yes, I started in 2018 as one of the first employees. Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw the company grow quite a bit, but then left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, how is your experience in London? You moved here 3 years back,
Yeah.
right? So, how is your experience in London? Do you like London? Do you not like London?
I'm starting to like it now. I didn't like it very much in the beginning,
Okay.
mostly because I thought the living costs are really high. I was a student, so I didn't have much money to spend. Then I got my first job, so yeah, I think living costs wise, it's very expensive to live here. You have to live in a flat share.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly starting to like it. There's a lot you can do in London. Lots of parks, lots of activities, lots of clubs. So yeah, I'm slowly getting into it. Mm.
So this is a question I always ask to everyone whom I interview. So, what are the two things you like about London and two things you don't like about London? Don't talk about weather, because I don't take that reason anymore.
Okay. The two things I like about London, first is that it's so multicultural,
Okay.
so that you have so many people from all over the world living here. Second thing I like about London are probably the parks. I really like Regent's Park. I really like, yeah, lots of parks, lots of beautiful
Yeah.
parks in London. So those are the two things I really like.
And two things you don't like.
Two things I don't like. Well, the housing prices
Okay.
is one thing that I don't like. The second thing I don't like is probably the tube, the underground.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I feel like it's compared to the other cities I lived in, it's not very convenient.
Okay.
It's quite expensive compared to other public transport
true.
in other
Yes.
cities,
Yeah.
and there's no ventilation. Yeah, there's no Wi-Fi, or there is Wi-Fi, but only if you like a Virgin user or something. So yeah, there's no reception. It's yeah. If you have like a long underground journey, you can't even use your phone.
Yeah.
I don't like the tube here in London. Yeah.
So let's talk about the first point. You said the housing prices, right? So how about Germany? If you compare with Germany, are these more or less, or how does it work there?
It's definitely a lot more than in Germany. The housing
Okay.
prices are a lot higher than in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And And the tube, is it better from here, or how about Wi-Fi? How about the other? I mean, the negative points that you said.
Oh. Oh, well, no, Germany is even worse with public
Okay.
transport. Yeah. Um, Germany's public transportation system isn't great. But then I think in bigger cities it's okay. In bigger cities you do have good public transportation, but like
Okay.
between the cities, it's not great.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but you can't really compare London to cities in Germany other than like Munich and Berlin, and there the public transportation inside the city is good.
Yeah.
But I was comparing it to Tokyo or Beijing, where I lived before, and I feel like the system there, the public transportation, was a lot better than here in London. A lot more convenient. Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, I've been to Germany twice, and I love the transport there because it's way better than India. So you compare actually with the places you have visited before, right? I've been to China, I've been to a few other countries as well, but I felt that German transport system was amazing. And when I came here, apart from the cost, I think I like it. So it depends, right? When you look at it, you are looking at it from German, because you are German, right? And you have been to so many good countries. So I'm comparing it with India. So it's like heaven for me. It's so good here. So it feels like a different planet altogether. So next question, yeah. Which all areas in London have you lived? You don't have to be very specific so that your privacy is not disclosed. Nothing is disclosed here, right? So just tell us about the areas where you have been living.
So when I first came to London, I lived in East London, so or Central East near Tower Bridge.
Okay.
Then I moved to a place near Brick Lane, so
Okay.
it's all East London. I quite liked it. It's quite artsy, young. But now I decided to move to West London to get to know the other side.
Okay.
Um, and I think I prefer it. Or maybe because I like it because it's new. Um,
Yeah.
that might be one reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this area a lot because it's so lively here. In central London, I think there are so many offices, and especially now during COVID, there's no one around. I mean, if you go there, there are no people living there. Yesterday, I went to check out a house near central London, and I just told my brother that we are not going to live here because there is no one around. Or this area, West London, is so good. I mean, wherever you go, there are hundreds of people around, right? So I like, I mean, areas where there are people always going out, and there are restaurants, there are other places to visit. So it's a good place, yeah. Um, what are your favorite places in London? So it can be a museum, it can be a park, it can be a activity area, right? Maybe you went for bowling or for dart, or I don't know, for golf or anything. So if you can just name few of the areas.
A few of my favorite places. So Regent's Park for sure. Quite like
Okay.
Regent's Park. Victoria and Albert Museum
Okay.
is very nice. Then I like Chinatown. I'm in Chinatown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clubs, probably E1.
Any activities that you, I mean, any adventure sports or anything else you go and do with your friends, like?
Well, parks. Yeah. So Regent's Park is my favorite, but Primrose Hill is nice too.
Oh yeah, it's a nice place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So okay. So my next question is, what do you do for a living right now? I know you are an entrepreneur, but if you can tell us about little bit about your company, what your company does, who are your target customer, and what's your revenue model, anything you want to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. So, when I left TikTok, I left because I thought, or what I saw was that a lot of people really like TikTok,
Okay.
and a lot of brands are interested in advertising on TikTok
Okay.
and doing marketing on TikTok, but they don't really know how because it's such a new concept. It's the first app that's based on a content graph instead of a social graph,
Okay.
which means when the user doesn't get videos from their friends or families that they follow, but instead they go right on the For You page, so they see content that they're interested in instead of content that is made by their friends or people they follow or know. So a lot of brands didn't really know how to use that to their advantage. So I started a creative agency to help brands to grow and monetize their accounts on TikTok to support them. So it's mostly B2B. I work with brands from the US, Canada, Germany, and the UK at the moment. And I help them in different ways, really depends on how much help they need with their accounts. So for some of them, I do everything. I have videographers, I have content writers, I have account managers that take care of the full account, from content creation to uploading to community interaction to influencer campaigns. For some, I just do like influencer campaigns for some brands. For some, I just do the content plan and they do their own videos. Really depends on the needs of the brand.
So you talked about so many jargons, right, related to social media. I don't know if everyone is aware about those or not. Maybe I can try to find out more information about these, and I can put them maybe in the description of the video, so that everybody knows what we were talking about. Even I don't know everything. But that sounds amazing. One question I don't know if you want to answer is that what's your revenue model? Do you want to answer this question?
What exactly do you want me to describe here?
For example, so basically you charge on a monthly basis, or is it a project by project, or how do you charge your customers?
So it really depends on what they need. For the ones who book me to completely run the account, or when I do the strategy or the content plans, it's a retainer fee.
Oh,
So yes, it's
okay.
monthly.
Yeah.
But for some of the brands I've been working with, I just do influencer campaigns. So they want to run their own channel and they do that successfully, but they just need support for it, for a campaign or an offline event that's with some TikTok creations. So yeah, then it's project based.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that perfectly answers my question. Uh, okay. I don't know if this is the question you want to answer, but why did you decide to leave your job and start your own company, or in other words, tell us about your entrepreneur journey, on how you decided to move, and whether it was difficult, easy, or what all difficulties you faced. Just tell us about that.
Yes, I think I always wanted to start my own business
Okay.
just because I enjoy working for myself a lot more
Yeah.
than when I work for someone else. And I work a lot harder and a lot more when I'm working for myself.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. It doesn't feel as tiring because I know everything I do for myself to fulfill my dream. And I started this journey in February just because I saw this gap in the market, and I saw the need for brands to have someone like me who has been working at TikTok for more than 2 years, but
Yeah.
also is still young enough to understand the target audience,
Yeah.
so I can help them to run their accounts and run their accounts successfully.
So was it easy or difficult, or how was
Um, s- some some parts were easier than I thought. Some parts were more difficult than I thought.
it? Okay.
I think it sounds like a huge project to start your own business. So I think a lot of people are quite
Yeah.
scared. To be honest, I feel like starting out was easier than I thought because there are lots of resources. There's lots of online trainings. There's lots of videos, webinars on everything, how to start a company in the UK, all for free,
Yeah.
that you can join. And I learned a lot. And then getting my first customers was a lot easier than I thought. Thought I would have to do a lot more marketing, a lot more advertising, but luckily it was surprisingly easy to find my first customers.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
the most the difficult parts is recruiting people is a lot more difficult than I thought. Finding good employees is a lot more difficult than I thought. Then anything with tax is, I think, a lot easier than I thought, but I hope I did it right.
Okay.
so so maybe yeah. Yeah, that was surprisingly easy. And then legal fees are surprisingly high. that that was a bit more difficult than I thought. Yeah.
That's great. So, how about your future plans? I mean, I know you started just 5 months back. I came in February, and you to London, and you started your company in February, right? So, it's been just 5 months. So, uh, what exactly are your future plans? I know it's too early to ask this, but what are your short-term goals or long-term goals? Short-term means maybe 6 months to 1 year, and long term maybe 3 to 5 years. What do you plan to do? Where do you see yourself in these two time intervals?
Yes. So short-term goals, I'll focus on my company, to because social media is quite short-lived nowadays. So I think for now it's a good business, and I want to make the most out of it. For the long-term strategy, I think that I'm right now in a good time to make money with my business. I don't think that it will be one of the biggest companies that will be there in 10 years, um, because we're purely focusing on TikTok at the moment. Um, so as soon as something new comes up, I might have to learn a new social media platform and maybe then shift the company's focus to that. But I'm working with a friend on a lot of live streaming things right now, because TikTok is starting e-commerce to start selling products on a live stream. The the classical model in the West that we had was like like TV sales.
Okay.
So you can do that now on a live stream, and you can have links inserted, and then people can buy on the live stream. And I'm working with a friend on a company to help brands to get their products on the live stream and work with influencers and connect them, to shift their goods away from normal retail to stream sales. Yeah.
Okay. Now I think one of the most common questions that every business is facing right now is COVID. So, how did COVID affect your business? Did it affect in a positive way or a negative way? And you started your company when there was a UK variant in UK,
Yeah.
right? And in February. So, did it affect your business, or is it helping you, or is it doing? I mean, is it affecting you in a wrong way? So maybe you can tell.
Um, it didn't really affect my business in any way. It probably affected TikTok, in a way that we saw lots of new users coming onto TikTok, lots more people using TikTok, so brands were more interested in marketing and advertising on TikTok. So that, in a way, it actually helped my company
Okay.
because it created a bigger need, um, yeah, for brands to get support for their marketing strategies on TikTok and their content strategies. Yeah. So if anything, it probably helped me.
No. Yeah, that's really cool because everyone is complaining about COVID, but I feel that COVID is helping the companies which are into digital space, in online, in advertising, online advertising space. So definitely, it should help you, and you should always maintain a positive attitude towards this, right? That it's definitely gonna bring more customers, more users. People are sitting at home during lockdown, and they need something for entertainment, and customers need to reach them. Yeah, sorry, not the customers. The businesses need to reach
Yeah.
their customers. So, digital marketing, social media marketing is the best way to go about it. Uh, okay. I think the last question I have is about differences between Germany and UK. You can talk about cultural differences, about business differences, about people, about climate, weather, anything you can talk about it. So.
Yes, Germany is definitely a lot warmer than the UK in summer, less rain. I prefer the German weather. The one thing that, or two things that where Germany is really different is, first of all, when it comes to housing, German apartments usually don't have a kitchen when you rent them, or not usually, but you always have to ask.
Oh, there's no kitchen?
It depends. You have to ask. So even if it's furnished or it, so most of the time it's not furnished when you
Okay.
rent, and then you always have to. Usually people take their kitchen with them. It's part of the furniture.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's definitely a difference. A second difference that really annoys me in the UK is that most places here they don't have sockets in the bathroom, so you cannot
Oh,
charge
yeah,
your
yeah,
electric
there is
toothbrush.
nothing. I didn't
Yes.
notice it. Yes, there's
Um,
nothing.
and that is a big, yeah, in Germany there's always like a socket in the bathroom for the electric toothbrush. So now I have to store my toothbrush in my room,
Yeah,
which is
I
weird.
use a trimmer
Mm.
to trim my shave and my head. So I don't have it. So I have to charge it outside in the room
Exactly,
and then
yes.
bring it back. So
Yeah, so that's something that I find really annoying. And then the all the electric sockets, they have switches here in the UK, which doesn't make sense for me because anything you plug in usually has a switch itself, like any lamp or yeah. Those are the main differences. It's more multicultural here, um, but that's just London, not the rest of the UK. Yeah.
okay. Uh, One more question that came to my mind. Have you visited other cities or places outside London in UK? If yes, you can tell us about those and if you like them and what you liked about them.
Yes, I visited York, Edinburgh, and Northern Ireland.
Oh, Scotland.
So, yeah.
I'm planning to visit Scotland soon, so
Oh,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I visited in winter. I really like the Christmas market in Edinburgh.
okay,
And then York is beautiful as well.
okay.
But my favorite place was Northern Ireland. So we went to Belfast and then we went to the coast. Um, and it's where they were shooting, what's it called? What everyone's watching. A series that was shot here in the.
What's there in the series?
I don't know. It's like I'm not watching it myself.
What is the theme? What are they doing in that series?
So they like I think different kings fighting. Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Yes,
Okay,
Game of
okay.
Thrones. So they were shooting Game of Thrones in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
So it's very beautiful. We were really lucky with the weather. It's beautiful for hiking. It was definitely my favorite place.
I think you are one of the very few people in the world who doesn't watch Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Even I haven't seen it. I've seen only the parts where there is a dragon, and their mother, so only those parts I like. But I normally like these kind of TV programs or movies, but somehow I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Maybe I'll watch it when I'm free. And I'm also an entrepreneur, so we are never free, right? So we're always busy. So anything else you want to talk about, or should we just anything special you want to share, or no? Okay. So let's close this interview here and say goodbye. So goodbye, people. This is Gaurav. This is Kate, and see you next time. Bye bye.